Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with me, Trekflix. Now I'm in my usual place. I'm in Carlisle. I'm just about to head back to Keswick now, so we're going to take a little trip. So we'll see you back at the hotel and then I'll go through some of the stuff that I've bought. hour pretty much at home. I'll take a ride up to the front of the hotel, which is dead ahead of us. The sign for it you've just seen. Just a quick peek. Not really allowed to go up here. Coming up to it. There it is. Just a quick spin round. That's all I'm going to give you. That's all I can give you. I don't want to spend too much time there, because obviously some of you viewers work there. I'm almost sure of it, and I wouldn't like this getting back to management, although they probably will see it anyway, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And home, hotel, home. This is where our journey ends, right there, and with 2 minutes to spare left on my recording timer. Fantastic. Okay everyone, so let's have a look and see what we've got here. I'm going to go through 4 titles that I bought about maybe a fortnight ago first. I didn't really want to do a video on these ones, but I thought I might as well throw these in. So the first one I've got for you guys is probably one of my favourite guilty pleasures, believe it or not, and it's from 1998, and it's Sony's reworking of Toho's classic Godzilla from Roland Emmerich. Like I said, probably one of my favourite guilty pleasures. The acting in this is absolutely atrocious, but it's really good fun. The visuals in it are really cool as well. So I really, I'm kind of pleased that I've bought this, and on the other hand, I'm not as well. So you know, it's just one of those things. You either like it or you don't. So that's Godzilla. And the next one I've got for you guys is the movie Zero Dark 30 from Catherine Bigelow, who directed The Hurt Locker, Point Break, and a couple of others which I can't quite remember. This is a really cool movie. It's the story of the takedown of Osama bin Laden in, I think, 2009, I think it was. The movie. 2009, 2010, something like that. But yeah, this is a really cool movie if you haven't seen this. Brilliantly executed with some great action sequences. Jessica Chastain is absolutely marvelous in this. She really is. So that's Zero Dark 30. The next one I've got was a really big surprise. I was really actually quite surprised how good this film was. This is actually a British film that stars James McAvoy and Mark Strong, and that is Welcome to the Punch. Now, what can I say about this movie? James McAvoy plays a cop who is on the tail of Mark Strong, who is a bank robber, and basically their paths cross, and things happen. This is all at the very start. This is all at the very start of the movie, but it takes a bit of a turn shortly after the prologue of the film, and Mark Strong comes back from being in hiding because his son has been shot dead, basically, and and there's this whole conspiracy thing going on, but I don't really want to go into that because it'll kind of ruin the story. But this is a really cool film. If you haven't seen this out, really check this out. It is pretty impressive, to say the least. Very strong performances from everybody in this, and a couple of surprise casting choices as well, for those who know their actors. I won't go into them because I want to leave that for you guys to see for yourself. So that's Welcome to the Punch, everyone. Like I say, if you haven't seen this, make sure to check it out. It's really cool. And the next one I have, which is the last one from my haul, from this haul from 2 weeks ago, is Day of the Jackal from 1972, I believe. Just one second. 1973, sorry. This was Frederick Forsyth's first best-selling novel, which obviously has been adapted to the movie. Now, I don't know an awful lot about the cast of this film, but from what I actually saw of this movie, the day that I watched this, it's absolutely fantastic. It really is. The casting in this is pretty much spot on. But like I say, I don't know much about the actors that starred in this, so I can't really go into a great deal of detail about them really. But yeah. It's a 2.5 hour film, this, and it does kind of drag out a little bit, so it's one of those movies that you really sort of need to be in the mood for watching, so to speak. It really is a bit of a slow burn. It kind of picks up in obviously it does kind of pick up towards the final act of the movie, but yeah, if you haven't seen this, great film. I really enjoyed watching this, even though it took some watching. It takes a bit of concentration to get into the gist of the story of this, because it really does drag out quite a bit. But yeah, it's a really cool movie. I really do recommend you check it out if you're into your old school type films from the 70s, like like movies like The Conversation and that sort of thing, you know. But yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it. So now we're onto the movies that I bought from today. And the first one I've got is the box set of the first 3 American Pies, or I think the first 3. Yes, it is. It says the first 3 on the front. Oh, what do you know? Yeah. Okay. So, a little bit of history about this and me. I've only seen the first half of the first movie. I've not seen the other 2. So leave me your thoughts on this set in the comments below if you like. It'll be really cool. Looking forward to watching it. I've seen a clip from the American Wedding on YouTube, and it just made me absolutely howl. There's only one particular reason for it. It was for one particular song that I've taken a really massive liking to. It's been covered by a rock band a few years ago, and I really liked it. I didn't know it was actually a cover at the time, but yeah. That's the American Pie. That was the only reason why I watched the clip in the first place. But yeah, that's the first 3 American Pie movies, with American Wedding thrown in there as well. And the next movie I've got for you, everybody, is the movie Kick-Ass, with Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Chloe Moretz, Mark Strong, and Nicolas Cage. I love this movie. This movie was so cool. It was so fresh to see a superhero movie that actually does everything it shouldn't. If that kind of makes sense. It's sort of based on real people that decide they want to be superheroes. This kind of, if I've got it local, yes I do. I've got it right here. This is sort of like Hollywood's version of Super, which I spoke about in a previous video It's a really, it's a really entertaining movie. This, it really is. It follows Aaron Taylor Johnson's story of him wanting to become a superhero by the name of Kick-Ass, and then he realises that there is actually a group of people that are doing exactly the same as he has. So he joins in on all of this, and finds out that there's all sorts of things going on in the city that he's in, and they go off on this adventure to bring down whoever it is that's been doing all this crime, that kind of thing. It's an absolutely fantastic movie. It really is. I can't recommend it enough. I also have the second one down here in the bookcases. The next ones I've got, I'm going to do these ones in one hit. We have 21 and 22 Jump Street with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. I've not seen these movies at all, but they have come very recommended to me, which is why I've decided to pick them up. They're fairly reasonable as well from Computer Exchange. I think one was £1.50 and the other one I think was £1, something like that. So yeah, that's a pretty good buy. Those, yeah, I quite like that. Right, this next one is a movie that I've only ever seen the once, and I was really impressed with it. I thought it was really cool. It's a movie from 1996, and I don't know whether this is a new release or whether it's one of those movies that's gone out of print or what. I really have no idea. If you could leave me, if you want, again, you can leave me a comment on this and see what you think of this. This is the movie Space Truckers with Dennis Hopper and Charles Dance, Stephen Dorff, and the bad guy from Commando. I don't remember his name. He's not in the credits list on this. I'm not quite sure why, but he is on the front right there. But yeah, this is a really cool movie, guys. But like I said, I've only seen it the once, and that was 22 years ago, when it hit Sky Premiere, Sky Movies Premiere, and that was the only time I watched it, and I thought it was awesome. I really did. So I saw this in Computer Exchange for like £10, and I thought, should I buy this or shouldn't I? And I thought, I'm going to have to give in to it. For some reason, it had been there for like three or 4 weeks, and I thought, right, it's mine. I'm picking it up. That's it. I'm sold. But yeah, if anyone's seen that, let me know what you think of it, everyone. It's really cool. And the next movie I've got for you, everybody, is the movie Ready Player One, which is my HMV buy out of all of these. This is a really cool movie. I really enjoyed watching this. I went to back-to-back screenings of this, both 2D and 3D versions of it. The 3D in this is actually really cool. Still not as good as some of the other movies I've seen in 3D, I really must say. Even though I really did like the movie, as other people on YouTube, such as Chris Stuckman and Flick Picker said, without all of the nostalgic moments that you've got, like seeing like Kong and all of those, and the stuff in the VR world, you don't have a very coherent story, and all of the characters are as good as they are in the movie. They're very plain, but it's just one of those films that really connects to you because of the sheer amount of nostalgia that is in the film. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking that out again. I really am. It's probably one of the better films of this year, I must say. And the other one I got this ahead of the UK release. It actually arrived a couple of days ago, and that is Rampage, starring Dwayne Johnson. Now, this movie, as much as I enjoyed it, it doesn't come without its flaws, and a lot of them have already been covered by previous reviewers out there. This movie kind of drags out a kind of drags out a bit. There should have really been a lot more action in this with regards to like cities being demolished, which is what the whole concept of this movie was all about. It's adapted from the video game in which beasts destroy a city, and you don't get that until the last half an hour of the film. So you've got all of this really annoying all these, no, I wouldn't say annoying characters, but you've got these characters that are just really bland and don't really do anything, and then you've got Dwayne Johnson, who is pretty much Mr. Invincible once again. Now I know all this has been covered in previous reviews that I've that's gone up onto YouTube and that, but I really do share those opinions, even though it is a reasonably entertaining movie. But I'll give it its due. I will give it its due. It's a decent movie, and it's worth having in your collection if you're looking for something to switch your brain off to, as with quite a few of the things that I've got in my collection. Really, not that I watch shitty movies. You have to have some in your collection anyway, just to sort of like, you know, I think I can't be bothered, I've just put something on that doesn't need any thinking, you know. And this movie is pretty much just that. It is entertaining, and I did like it, but you know, with those little things, you know, you do have to talk about them, you know. So yeah, that's Rampage, everyone. Not really a movie I would highly recommend, but if you're looking for a monster movie that does what it says on the tin, this is pretty much one of them, you know. But just skip to the last half an hour of the film if that's all you want, because there's your story. So yeah, that's Rampage, everyone. So yeah, so that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you did like this video, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you like as well. That would be great. And obviously, if you want to make a comment on any of the stuff that I've talked about in this video, then there, you know, that's absolutely fine as well. So I'm going to do my pleasantries now, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.